this meeting to order. But could please, Mayor, we should do roll call?
Okay, Mr. Kirby?
Here.
Mr. Lopez?
Here.
Mr. Hennis? Mr. Wright?
Here.
Mrs. Harrington? Here.
Okay, everybody is here. Appreciate being here this evening. And we're going to switch executive session until after we do some business here at the beginning of this, so if that works out for everybody. First up is item D, which is the district override election. Dr. Battle, would you?
Yes, it'd be my pleasure.
Thanks.
I got a different mic. Am I good? They're good. Good evening, governing board members. We have additional information we want to share with you regarding the override so that you can consider possibilities moving forward. And I know that Mr. Strong is prepared to share that information with you this evening. Dr. Strong? Just go to the attachment. Do you have it? No, no problem. You want to just?
You want to grab Taylor's computer?
Yeah, it's all logged on.
It's all logged on.
Yeah, it just sits there in the,
And while that comes up, I'll tell you that two documents that are in board docs include the resolution, which is the call for the election. And then in addition to that would be a certificate that would need to be signed by the governing board president if in fact you all chose to move in that direction. And what we can do, that's loading in, my apologies, Dr. Strong. If there are questions that you would have for Dr. Strong or myself and or staff, it'd be our pleasure to entertain them at this time.
I guess the short question is we have 2 bites of the apple, is that correct? We have this year and next year. So even though this is a kind of a strange and weird old midterm election,
you have to hold the button down when you're talking about it.
Realistically, it's in the district's best purview to go forward with this year as opposed to trying to roll all the dice in 1 year.
Mr. President, that is correct. The vast majority of districts will out year 4, and if they are not successful, they will continue on to year 5 and call for an election to avoid any budget reduction. The good news about this election in Casa Grande Union High School District is that it is a renewal, a continuation. This, for the public to understand, this is not a new tax in the system. This is a renewal tax. And with rising assessed evaluations in this district, it is likely that the tax rate for the override will decrease with assessed evaluations increasing in the district. So you're talking about a tax rate that, while it may generate more money for the district, may ultimately, for any individual homeowner, the tax rate may go down because this is a continuation tax and not a new tax in the system.
Okay, and the district override has been in place, I mean, I think we kind of asked this once before. This override's been in place for years.
Correct. And the last election passed with about a 53% pass rate when all votes were accounted for. It was a little iffy on election night, and all votes accounted, it passed at about a 53% rate.
Pulled 80 votes out of the bag somewhere. Late at night.
We don't say that.
Yeah.
We do not say that, and we don't report that. As a matter of fact, all of them were counted correctly, certified by the county, et cetera, and all votes were taken in a correct fashion. So, I guess, are there any other questions about this? I think we've all had a little bit of a chance to visit directly with Dr. Battle on this. Is there any other questions or recommendation the board would like to make on the going forward with the budget override?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment on going forward. I was definitely in favor of doing this at the last meeting, at a regular general meeting. I think, you know, we all felt like giving 2 bites at the apple. This would be a good time. The things that have transpired in the past week and over the weekend that we still haven't seen completely rolled out yet. There's a lot of public sentiment going on in relation to the condition of the district. A lot of ideas, a lot of concerns. They're voicing their opinion very loudly, at least to me. I'm very skittish right now about about committing my vote to go for this override in this coming election. Because I really feel that, based on what's happening and what's gonna happen, I think it's gonna go down. So that's my warning.
If I can speak to that really quick, Jeff.
Yeah, Taylor, you, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just want to say first that I absolutely share Mr. Wright's concern, and I think that's a valid point of discussion to have. I will say though that sorry, my daughter's coming up.
No worries.
While I share Mr. Wright's concerns, I actually come to a different conclusion, and that's that because there is difficulty in perception vis-a-vis the district right now, that is all the more reason to move forward with this override, ensure that we have all opportunities to see it pass. I think the phrase we've been using is 2 bites of the apple. I think we need to ensure that this has every opportunity to pass. I am hopeful that the district is able to separate the questions of their concerns with the need to fund the district. But if not, I want to make sure that we have every opportunity to see the override down to a positive conclusion. And now I'm going to mute myself for a second while I get a little better
Okay, Taylor, so I guess the question I've got is that a motion?
Absolutely, that's a motion to go forward with the override.
I have a motion by Taylor, there's a second by Joe. And then, as a quick comment, I appreciate concerns in the community, et cetera. I think the number one thing that we're interested in doing is finding out facts about what's going on or what's transpiring and reducing hearsay and rumor and innuendo, which runs rampant in the city of Casa Grande. And we are interested in finding out what the truth is. And after what is alleged or not alleged, once we have a chance to find out what the absolute truth is in this thing, is make decisions on what's in the best interest of the district, Casa Grande Elementary, or Casa Grande Union High School District, for the students, community, and teachers, et cetera. So I appreciate the comments, and until we have facts, and we have a chance to hear actually what has transpired, we're gonna go ahead and call for a vote at this point.
And just to reiterate, you're adopting a resolution ordering and calling a special budget override election to be held in and for the district and declaring the deadline for submitting arguments for and against the election to Nell County School Superintendent as August 10th, 2022 at 5 p.m.
For a 10%,
Yes, the resolution calls for a 10%.
maintaining the 10%.
Yeah, that's what the resolution, all that's in the resolution.
That's perfect. Then we'll go ahead and call for the vote.
Okay. Mr. Kirby,
Yes,
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
yes.
Mr. Hennis,
Yes.
Mr. Wright,
No,
and Ms. Harrington.
Yes.
Okay, we're down to item E, which is personnel. And Dr. Battle, you're up again also, please?
Yes, it'd be my pleasure. We have, you can see the majority of staff, and because we're having a special meeting today, we've got summer school with over 700 students that are enrolled, and we have staff that we'd like to approve this evening, sir. And then also we have a few resignations and positions that we need to have approved.
Why don't you, just for clarification, we can see what some of these are. Why don't you do specifically in executive content?
Yes, sir.
Describe, so that whatever question is there, just what your plan was or what your thought was and the reasoning behind why we're doing that.
Yes, very good. It'd be my pleasure. I'm recommending Mr. Sean Casey, who is currently the Director of Student Services, to become the Executive Director of Human Resources. Based upon his background as a Student Services Director in our district and also in another district, his expertise is beneficial At this time, we have a number of outstanding assignments that are required to close out the school year. And based upon the limited personnel that are available, we need his additional expertise. I can tell you that while he did this earlier in the year, he shined. He understands how to utilize Talent Ed. He also participated and supported and visions. Our teachers and staff appreciated his knowledge to ensure that people that were in wait to hear back from the department understood what their contracts availabilities are. He understands IDEA law to ensure equity for students and adults. He's handled conflict situations that deal with parents and adults relative to his expertise working in the Student Services Department. His heart is first upon doing the right thing and ensuring that his staff provides quality service. I wholeheartedly would like to recommend Mr. Casey as this executive director, given the number of outstanding expectations that have not occurred at this point, based upon staff's limited ability to do so at this time. The other part that's not there, the question was to me earlier today, it's important that you know, he is not abandoning the Student Services Department that oversees our Special Education Department as well as our 504 department. We have a quality educator that we will entertain her agreement later. It's not in this board agenda to support the ESS department, which she currently is. And then we'll consider the addition to department instructional leaders to help each site. Both principals have been communicated and are fully aware and support this transition, support for not only their campus, but also for their staff and the district.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
One other thing that, you know, would just like to bring up, and I think all of the board as a group want to say with a huge thank you for Melanie Edwards' time and everything she's done for this district, the support and the love that she's given to this district, all the way from classroom to administrative position. And we truly are you know, sorry to see you leave. Know that this is an opportunity for you to go help a friend. And so we just, our thoughts and prayers, blessings to you to go forward, and good luck with all you do. And so just wanted to say that real quick before we got too far into it. Yes, ma'am.
May I?
Yeah, you can.
Yes.
You can do much better.
Awesome. No, I think you did a fantastic job. I want to, and I think all of us here are here to also say to you, Melanie, you have done a great job. We appreciate all that you've done and what you'll continue to do for kids in the community. And we talked a lot about that. I'm excited for your opportunity to go there and support student teaching and learning and curriculum and development. You're going to do great things there. We thank you. We thank you so much for what you've served and what you've done for Casper High School. Ma'am?
I got some comments. Reached out to Dr. Battle this afternoon regarding Mr. Casey's appointment to the HR director. I looked at his resume. He has, he states he has 3 years of experience in HR. I didn't see anywhere in his resume or actually list his actual work experience and whatever those outlets were that he had HR experience in. Well, that's my one concern. The regulations also require a master's degree. I believe he only has a master's degree in special education. According to SHRM, Society of Human Resource Management, an executive director for human resources required approximately 7 to 10 years of experience with a minimum of 5 years of human resource management. I don't believe he has that. Mr. Casey is a fine man. I know him. He does a great job, but I don't think he's particularly great for this job. I have a problem with Dr. Battle's practice of putting people in these positions and circumventing the advertising of these positions. I got 3 phone calls today. One from Steve Hayes, who is a potential candidate for board, and another one from Scott Mogul, and another one from Frida Salazar, a longtime resident of this community. They've all voiced concerns about the hiring practices of Dr. Battle in the way that she seems to be circumventing the advertising of these positions and bringing in a friend from the valley or like in Mr. Casey's place, appointing him directly as without reaching out in the community and giving other people a chance to apply for these jobs. We got a lot of great people in this community and the surrounding Canal County who bring a lot of services to us, and I think it disgraces us that we don't allow these people a chance to take advantage of these job openings when this is all done in-house. I think it makes Dr. Battle look bad. It makes us look bad in the way we handle that. These 3 people phone calls, they were emphatic about it. It's something, it's a practice that should be stopped. And we should go back to actually putting it out for advertisement and bringing in people and advertising and interviewing them and pick the best candidate for these positions. I heard where there just wasn't enough time. Well, you know, there is time when you want to find the right person for these positions, the right candidate. You can make the time to do that. So I just think that you know, I can't vote yes for Sean Casey for this position. I just can't do it.
Okay, Dr. Battle, if you will you go ahead and clarify,
Yes, sir.
express what his position is and that we still have an actual.
Well, we're actually hiring for $112,000.
If I might, and I think you're a little bit out of line, Mr.
But
Mr. I
Brandon,
just
Dr.
wanted to
Battle
say-
has the floor.
Yes,
Okay.
and since you've made some accusations, it's important that I clarify.
You go ahead.
All positions have been posted as long as I've been here. You might want to look at your past records.
Okay.
But this position is the only one that has not been posted.
Okay.
And given the time and sensitivity of our teachers and staff, and I believe the 301 that's due next week, we need to make sure that our teachers are able to be paid accordingly to another law. So while you have concerns, representative of the community, it would be appropriate for us to talk about it in the proper setting, which is called the exec session.
Well, I think
So I'm not finished.
Yeah.
So with that said, I think it's important that we maintain the courtesy of this community. And I would say that in light of us having still a director of human resources that's in the department,
Mhm.
she's still there. I can tell you that while wonderful as Ms. Pam Reynolds is, she'd be the first to tell you, as well as others who have done what they can to ensure she understands education. She doesn't have that expertise, sir. So therefore, aligning Mr. Casey in support of the department, given his educational background, has been and will be advantageous if this board chooses to hire him. And I would say in all other cases, it's very important that we're truthful up here. All other positions have been posted and interviewed and hired as you have approved them through the board docs. So if that's available in public record, you know, so be it. And it's unfortunate that you're entertaining false information. Thank you.
Well, I think we've got a
Okay, I tell you what,
bad impression from the community, as I
we don't
told
want,
you.
we have plenty of opportunity.
Okay.
This is not the bullet pulpit right now at this point.
You got it.
So at this point, you have before you have a list of people to approve personnel. You have different summer school positions and you have a couple resignations, a retirement, and then all this is a reclassification for Sean.
That's correct, sir.
He's not actually, his salary was from before and this was he's being
Very
paid
small.
stipend associated to handle
Yes,
this
sir.
also, to continue doing what he was doing before and to handle this also, correct? Okay, so if anybody's interested in making a motion for personnel as presented, There's a motion by Kelly. Is there a second?
I will second that, to approve the personnel items as presented.
There's a second by Joe. There. Is there any other questions? If not, we'll go ahead and call for the vote. Mary, if you would, please.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Hennis?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
No,
And Ms. Harrington?
Yes. Can I just add something as a question?
Yes.
Sure.
I know that it was asked in the previous board meeting, whether we could compile just some interviews from all of the people that are resigning to see if maybe there's a trend or something we could be doing different or addressing. Has any of that information come of light?
Thank you very much for the question. And what we can do, I understand there's exit reports, and I'm not sure how diligent we have been in that area. But what's available, we'll be glad to get to you. My pleasure.
That sounds great. Yeah, we'd appreciate that. Just, I mean, I think in general, just to have a feel for, the practice. We're down to item F, which is after the fact purchase.
Yes, sir.
It was for you. Do you want to describe, or Matt, you want to describe, or anybody want to describe?
Is Lisa here?
First, would be great.
Lisa, not here? What I understand is that one of the culinary departments, it's culinary, right? Yes. I was delayed in putting in the PO for this, and unfortunately, we have to give an after the fact PO approved by the board. So that's what we're working with. And I can assure you that strategies are in place with the sites and with our business office to ensure that we don't have this in the practice.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the after the fact purchase order for US Foods as presented.
All motion.
Great. Taylor moved.
I have a question.
No, go ahead. Do you want a second, and then we'll go ahead and call for the question? Joe seconded. We'll go ahead and call for the question. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this, the reason we're doing this, because this was bypassed the first time around, because there was personal reasons for that. But it says here that it's going over the original PO, the amount. What is the original amount that it's going over?
Right, there's no, right, I don't have that in my possession. Gina? Yes, Mr. Wagner, I think has some information.
So I may be able to shed some light on that. There was an original PO in place. There's been some special circumstances in her life that have required her to have attention drawn in other areas. And she thought that she still had some of that money left on that PO. So there was a small over expenditure on that part. Now, she does have other funds in other areas allocated or able to be allocated to that. So it's not as if there are not funds available.
Yeah, I was just curious as to the overage. Was it a major overage or just a?
I don't believe it was a major overage. Culinary is typically grocery size bills currently. So we're not looking at thousands of dollars. We're probably looking at $100 maximum, if that.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. So we'll get some clarification and get that information out to the board as soon as possible. So
Yes, sir.
we can do
Be my
that, if
pleasure.
you could, please. So any other discussion or question on that? If not, Mary, should we go ahead?
Is this something that should wait till you know the amount?
Do we need to,
Or is,
I don't think that changes the fact, that the reason they wanted it on here is because it's a current finance charge. The later it's approved, then they're charging, so.
Yeah.
The
and the
US
US
Foods is charging them for not having the payment, so they have to have it approved before it can be processed.
and then you'll have a number to fill into the amount
Yeah,
of
correct.
that. These will include also the interest associated with it too.
Yeah, it's to our advantage to do it now as well as what Mr. Wagner just said.
Yes, sir.
We have the money in other places where we don't have to tap into.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
She does in the culinary.
She just does not have a bank account. That's correct.
All right, so,
You got a motion and a second.
yeah,
so-
I was gonna say, discussion, we can go ahead and call for the vote now, if we could, please.
Mr.
So moved.
Kirby? Oh, we already got a
Oh, we
motion.
already
got
Yeah, sorry.
okay.
Okay, yes, Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Hennis,
Yes.
Mr. Wright,
Yes,
and Ms. Harrington.
yes,
All right, thank you for that. At this point, we're down to item B, which is executive session. Our attorney Rob Haas is here, and he is, we have some legal advice regarding an employee disclosure. And I think at this point, if we could get a motion to move an executive session, we appreciate that, please.
I'm moving.
to
executive session.
Motion by Taylor and a second by Joe. Any other discussion? If not, Mary, vote please for executive session.
Mr. Kirby?
Yeah.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Hennis?
Yes.
Mr. Rice?
Yes.
And Mrs. Harrington?
Yes.
And we are in executive session. Rob, I think we're gonna go.
No, well, we
We're
have
gonna
to
stay here. We have to
because
stay
of the
here for
phone.
Taylor. I apologize.